Hello, hello, and welcome to the Big Show. This is Dim Lights and Stiff Drinks, the dive bars of Seattle. We're interested in those roadhouses, taverns, and local watering holes with a long history and, with any luck, some juicy backstories.
Mm-hmm.
And we've yet to be disappointed. If you've been in the bar owner game long enough, you've seen some crazy stuff. And we're not talking about this in four nooks at our homes with headsets on, right? No, we record live and hang one on in the places where bad decisions are made and money is lost. On pull tabs. This week, we are at Leny's place in Tangletown. The sign tells you everything you need to know. Food, darts, pool, big screen, voted best burgers in town.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. And without further ado, let's introduce the crew. Dim Lights is a Bob Trombley production. Your pilot this evening will be Bob. How's it going? Ever had a Lenny's burger?
Never been to Lenny's, first time right now.
All right. And to my right is resident Suds gourmand Jeremy. Jay Deasy, also like the beers he loves, has a rotating handle. What's your handle tonight, Jeremy?
Let's go with MC Creamy Texture. Yeah,
That can be interpreted a lot of different ways.
well, we'll get into that.
Okay.
There's a story behind it. I'm not just making
I'm
stuff
sure there
up.
is a
I'm not
story
just
behind
riffing.
It's a teaser.
Yeah, we got some
Buckle
shit
up,
going
everybody. He's not talking off the top of his head. To my other right is resident historian Brad, the Stash Panda. Brad, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Lou. How's everybody doing? Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great. I'm Sweet Lou, and I'm thrilled to be here again at Lenny's because it's a neighborhood bar that's right in my hood.
Yeah.
Again, a repeat customer.
That's
Excellent.
right. That's
so
right.
We got 1, 2, 3. So 3 noobs and a regular.
And I still haven't had the burger.
That's a good formula. Good formula.
It's a good
Yeah,
formula.
Yeah.
Blank
You
slate.
get us in the door because they recognize you, and we just ride on your coattails.
Nice. But before we get into the history of the bar, we're going to take a quick break to get a word from our sponsors, the Stedman Group, keeping dive alive in Seattle.
Dim Lights and Stiff Drinks, the dive bars of Seattle, is proud to be sponsored by the Stedman Group.
The Stedman Group is a local independent business that owns and operates Targey's Tavern, profiled here in Season 1, Episode 9, The Pogie, Season 2, Episode 12, the Duval Tavern in Duval, and Larry's Tavern in West Seattle.
All of us here at the podcast are pretty tough critics when it comes to how the local dive bars are being run, and we have always been extremely impressed with all the dive bars owned by the Stedmans. This is because all drinking establishments, especially those that have been around for a while, each have their own unique character and charm, and it's obvious when you walk into a Stedman's bar that you are devoted to maintaining that tradition. And for that, we raise our glasses and cheers.
The Stedman Group, committed to preserving the legacy of dive bars throughout the Puget Sound region.
And we're back. All right. Brad, I take it you did your homework and looked into the history of this place?
I did, yep.
How long's it been here? I'm going to guess 1942.
You're off by 7 years.
Oh!
Yeah, 35.
Oh, no, Prohibition bar. As soon as the
Yeah,
gates
another
opened
Prohibition
up,
bar,
they were
yeah.
one of the few, or one of the many that came in right after that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The gold rush of bars after Prohibition ended. Yeah, no, we're here at Lenny's. You know, you're going to get more into where we're at later in the episode, but, researching this, I discovered that we are officially in Tangletown.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Is that one of those
Yeah.
new words that came out? Has it for a while? So it's not like free lard?
Don't skip
No,
ahead,
it's-
Brad. Luke's going to get into that.
I got
Okay,
8
okay.
note cards on fucking
we have like
Tangletown.
57 pages of
But
the
isn't-
history of Tangletown.
But we're officially in the Wallingford neighborhood, so how is Tangletown? Okay.
Little
Yeah,
sliver.
because when you look at 50th is what people think of Wallingford is 50th to the water.
Okay.
And then this is Green Lake, but it's not really Green Lake.
Okay.
And it's kind of Tangletown.
Tangletown, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's because there's 4 streets that go at a diagonal through otherwise north, south, east, west streets.
Okay.
You ever gotten
I guess
turned
that makes
around in
sense.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminds me of like the First Hill neighborhood, right? Like I grew up First Hill neighborhood way back in the day, but you look, still to this day, some maps don't list First Hill. It goes like downtown, Capitol Hill, whatever, and like
But First Hill is pretty well known. Tangletown, you don't hear very much.
Yeah.
So, okay,
well, you do if you lived here.
I do.
guess so.
I've heard it since I've been here.
Well, I'll give him a pass, and I was about to go off because I thought it was one of those free lard situations, you know, like somebody just made it up.
I thought it was a real estate marketing
Yeah.
term. Buckle up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're inside Leny's Tavern, which, like many places, as we were just discussing, opened after the repeal of Prohibition. In this case, it opened as Harry's Beer Parlor in 1935. Harry's Beer Parlor. I wish, we've talked about this before, I wish beer parlor would come back. Because essentially, beer parlors back in the day, they were basically like tap rooms. You know, you'd go in, they'd have like 3 or 4 beers probably on tap. You'd sit down, you'd pick which one you want. So it was kind of like a tap room. But wouldn't that be a great name? Like if you're opening a tap room to call it a beer parlor to kind of make it stand out?
Lenny's Beer
Old-timey?
Parlor.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's $1 million idea, I tell you.
Tap
Jay's
house sounds a
smoothing-
little more, upscale, but beer hall, beer parlor.
Yeah.
I'd go there.
Brad's Beer Parlor.
Hell yeah.
Tell me that doesn't just
Yeah.
roll off the tongue. Yeah.
25-cent Rainiers.
There you go.
Jay Smooth and Creamy's Beer Parlor.
So yeah, it opened as Harry's Beer Parlor in 35. A year later, it was renamed as Zepp's Tavern.
Zeps. Z-E-P-P.
Yeah. Apparently operated as Zepp's Tavern for quite some time. Its owner at the time was Ida Zeppelin, which is kind of a unique name. Because Ida's like kind of a grandma name. And then you got Zeppelin, like Led Zeppelin. So it's kind of a dichotomy. Yeah, I don't know.
I've never heard Zeppelin as a name.
Either have I.
Very unusual name.
But I assume that's where Zepp's came from.
Nice.
But it was kind of a rough and tumble kind of bar back in the day. As you know, we're in Tangletown. It's kind of a rough and tumble neighborhood. In 1952, here, 2 men started arguing. They were in here drinking, started exchanging words, so they decided to take it outside. Some fisticuffs ensued, during which one of the men got knocked backwards and hit his head on the concrete and ended up dying as a result of this head injury.
This is at least the 3rd or 4th place we've been to that had a unfortunate historical death due to fights out in front of the bar.
Would you call that a murder, though? Would it be correct to say that
Yeah.
a murder took place here?
Well, nah.
It's called
It's a one-punch death.
Yeah.
It happens so often down there. People don't have guns, but they get drunk and they just knock each other out. So you get charged for murder.
Murder, okay.
You
Wow.
have to be careful because, it just goes to show,
Give someone the 1-2, and the next thing you know, you're in prison.
Well, good news for you, Brad. Here you can get away with manslaughter.
Well, I think that's what the guy got charged with, was manslaughter. I think he did some time, the guy that hit him.
Bruce Lee's hands are registered weapons, though, so he's
That's right.
He's going down for murder. But any drunks taking a swing at a bar, manslaughter.
It became Leny's Tavern in 1970, which it has continued operating as ever since. So that means Leny's has been in business here for 54 years, so that's pretty good. Definitely some grit under its nails.
Interesting about that, 70 years as Lenny's is pretty awesome, right? But just the fact that it's been here that long as a beer drinking establishment, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of places we've gone to, they started off as like, a grocery store or a hotel or a house or whatever, and then, later throughout history got changed into a tavern or a lounge or whatever. But nope, this place has been a beer drinking hall from day one.
Since 35,
Yeah.
yep. So fast forward to 1991. We got ourselves a crime story here. So cue the crime music.
Satan's Pilgrims, hit us with the crime music.
Okay, so here's how it went down. 1991, here at Leny's. It's like a Tuesday afternoon. The bartender gets a phone call.
right in the midst of grunge.
Yeah, right in the midst of grunge. Soundgarden, they're probably in here drinking. Anyway, he gets a phone call. The guy on the other line is like, "Hey, it's Steve. I'm one of your beer delivery guys. I work for such and such distributor. Everything's checking out." And the bartender's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Yeah. I was wondering if you could help me out. My daughter, her car broke down a couple blocks from your place, I can't help her. I'm on a payphone right now. I'm out making, my deliveries at these other bars on the other side of town. I was wondering if she came in, if you could loan her $100, and then the next time when I make my deliveries next week, I can pay you back then.
It's a get-rich-quick scheme.
Yeah,
get-rich-slow
fishy. Yeah.
But everything checked out. Like, he named the right distributor. There apparently was a guy named Steve that was one of the beer delivery guys.
He Star 69 it.
Did they have Star 69 back then?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah. So, he's calling from a payphone, so even if he did Star 69, I mean, what's that going to do?
Yeah.
This was pre cell phones. So anyway, everything checks out. So the bartender's like, sure, I don't see why not. Yeah, that sounds good. So he's like, awesome, thank you so much. This would be great. Now she can get a tow truck and blah, blah, blah. So 20 minutes later, a young lady comes through and, hey, I think my dad called. Yeah, here's your $100. And she goes along her way. So no one thought anything of it until the following week when Steve, the delivery guy, comes through and the bartender's like, hey, Steve, how's your daughter? Did she get her car fixed? And the delivery guy's like, I don't have a daughter. What are you talking about? So it's quickly discovered that, they got scammed. Not only that.
100 lousy bucks.
That's like pretty wild.
Yeah.
That's pretty mild.
That's
But
a lot
what
of
they
work
did,
for $100
as it turned out, like 10 or 15 other bars got hit with the same scam that same day. So they just went from bar to bar to bar with the same story.
Wow.
What's kind of remarkable about that is...
Inside job.
Well, possibly, or someone was
They
doing
knew
a
the delivery
stakeout.
route.
They knew the delivery route. They knew the name of the drivers for all the different bars that they hit. So someone had to do some homework. They either had it in somewhere, or maybe they did a stakeout.
Inside job with the distributor. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that too. I didn't even think about that. That's possible too.
I would look at the guy who just got fired last week.
Right.
Maybe
Exactly.
it was a delivery guy, and he's just like trying to cover his tracks. Like, I don't have a daughter. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, no.
It's actually my niece.
As it turns out, so
I'm liking this criminal more and more.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting scam, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, word got out pretty fast. So the tavern world here in Seattle about what went down. I think there's a couple newspaper articles
Do
about
not
it.
lend money to your beer delivery guy under any circumstances. Spread the word.
And sure enough, 2 or 3 weeks later, there's a bartender at a place called the Wedgwood Inn, which I think they've since closed. He gets a phone call, and it's like, hey, same thing. Hey, it's Steve. Was wondering if you could do me a favor. The whole spiel. My daughter's car broke down. Can she borrow some money from me? I'll pay you back. Well, this guy was ready, so he played along, and he was like, oh yeah, sure. I don't see why not.
Called the cops.
Called the cops. The cops actually made it here pretty quick. 5 minutes later, the front door opens. Some young lady comes through. Hey, I think my dad just called. Busted. She gets cuffed.
Right. All right.
And once she got hauled into jail, the whole house of cards fell down, and they found out who the other people were, and she started singing like a bird. Yep. So that was the end of that scam. But I don't know. I thought that was kind of an interesting one. It was original.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, the Catch Me If You Can guy that was impersonating a midget wrestler. Yeah, that was a great story. That was one of my favorites.
It's way better than like stealing a safe, trying to break it open and find out there's like $20 in there. So
Yeah.
At night, you're cat burglar all in there.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain.
They were using their brain, but at the same time, they were pretty dumb because they did it like 2 weeks later. With a scam like that, you have to know word's going to get out, and
It's
you
a
can't repeat
one-time
that.
thing.
yeah,
It's
they're
a
like,
one-time
hey,
thing.
easy money.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Keep doing, yeah. So that was their
Hightail it to
downfall.
another town. I mean, come on.
Yeah, go down to Tacoma and do it or something.
I already heard this story 5 times when she calls. Like, what?
Yeah, that would suck if you really were like a beer delivery guy and your daughter really did have her car break down. Like, what would you do? Yeah, you're like, honestly, I swear
Dad,
to God.
I'm in jail. What?
Yeah, all it takes is one scam ruins it for everybody.
I know.
So also in the 1990s, Leny was sold to a guy by the name of Charlie Files. You guys remember Charlie Files?
From Daryl's, right? Wasn't he a mob accountant?
Nope. Charlie Files was,
I'm making
I'll
that
give you a
up 'cause of
hint,
his name.
the slooper size.
Ooh.
That's slippery size. There we go.
Yeah.
He owned the sloop.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, what you're thinking of, he also owned Targy's Tavern for a spell. and he's the one that sold it to Helmer Trestle. Remember
yes.
Helmer, the guy that would just like beat up customers?
Beat the shit out of his customers.
Yeah. You didn't give any lip service to Helmer. So yeah, Charlie Files owned this place for a while. I think he still owned it. He passed away in 2011.
Gustav Hellflower.
That was the Blue Moon, actually. Gustav Hellflower, but that's a great name. Yeah. So anyway, so this, some Seattle royalty has owned Lenny's at one time or another.
Yeah.
But that's basically the story of Lenny's. That's the history. What do you guys think of that?
I think this would be a perfect acquisition for the Stedman Group.
There you
It's
go.
right in our sponsor's wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
It's connected to the bars they own already. Yeah.
It's a great bar. Got a couple pool tables I'm looking at.
Yep. And good crowd tonight. Not quite a full house, but pretty darn close.
For a Thursday, it's not too bad.
Thursday? Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Lots of regulars,
Yeah.
lots of good crowd. Playing pool, drinking. Love it.
I like it.
Yeah.
So, Jeremy, let's get right to the heart of this J Smooth and Creamy thing and get into some What Are We Drinking? What'd you get for your first round?
Well, you know what? I think before we talk about the rounds, the normal rounds that we have, we definitely should mention the unique offerings here at Lenny's, right?
You want to go straight to the shots?
Let's go right to the shots.
Let's
right?
go to the shots.
So, this is relatively new to most of us here in the podcast crew. Maybe not new to the listeners, but, let us know. Hit us up on the socials what you think about pudding shots, which we are partaking in right now. Tonight's selection is a cookies and cream pudding shot. Lenny's is kind of known for their pudding shots. They rotate the flavors, so you never know what you're going to get until you come in and read the marquee board and the menu behind the bar, and you find out what kind of flavor of pudding shots. They also have jell-o shots, which we've done before in a couple of episodes, but pudding shots, I think it's a first for us. First for us partaking. First bar that we've been to that even offered pudding shots. So I'm liking it.
Describe the pudding shot. How is it served to you, Jeremy?
You know what? I'm gonna eat some live on air.
We're going to do a live taste test on the air.
First of all, delicious creamy texture.
It's not bad because a pudding shot, this is the first time I've heard of it. It could go either way, in my opinion. It could either be just completely disgusting or not too bad. And I got to say, it's not too bad.
You read the menu, and 50% of people are going to be like, "Oh my God, that's disgusting! What the hell?" And the other 50% are going to be like, "That actually sounds pretty good."
Yeah.
It kind of looks like ice cream. Is it not like reminiscent of ice cream slightly? Or
It is very ice cream-esque. In fact,
it's
you look at it, and it looks like
creamy.
it would be really cold, like ice cream. But of course, it's not room temperature.
Oh, see, I was expecting
It's not hot pudding like you were talking about earlier, Lou. Thank God. That's a whole other thing. We won't get into the hot pudding. The room temperature pudding is quite delicious, though. And to your point, we were talking about earlier, hides the alcohol quite nicely. Yeah, quite nicely.
What do you think the alcohol they used in this was? I can't really tell.
Guessing vodka?
I think vodka?
I'm guessing vodka.
That's what they use in Jell-O shots, right?
Yeah.
Vodka,
Yeah, that's kind of the go-to with these kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can taste it. It's in there. It's definitely in there. But
went on. You're having a couple pitchers, drinking a couple Rainiers. You got about 10 Rainiers deep. You got about 10 puddings deep. What's going on?
Yeah.
It's like the
So you're saying you got to pace yourself, otherwise you get too full in the pudding, right? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. And
what things are going to look like the following morning?
They're a nice small cup, so you don't got to worry about. But yeah, if you go up to the bartender and order 10 of them or something, might get a little side eye.
And we should also point out that when I hear pudding shot, I think it's like a Jell-O shot where you squeeze the metal canister and you slurp it up.
Yeah.
Nope.
Where this is like it's the same canister, but it comes with a tiny taster spoon, like you get at Baskin Robbins, and you eat it like dessert. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it looks like a sample cup.
This is a upscale establishment here in Tangletown. You're not just slurping down your shots. No, they give you a little spoon.
And the spoons are adorable.
The spoons are adorable. We got to get some pictures on the socials and stuff. The silver. Yes, the silver.
And as to the strength of it, we know that frozen shots, or like slushies, you got to put a ton of alcohol in it or it'll freeze up.
Yeah.
Whereas this, you wouldn't know, and tastes so much like cookies and cream pudding. You have no idea what's in there, but we have it on
A little deceptive.
word from a local that with all the alcohol and all the sugar in here, It's going straight to your head.
Yeah.
Straight to the noggin.
Straight to the noggin. That was the warning we got. Brad said, what do you think the pudding shots are about? And he repeated that.
Yeah.
It's alcohol and sugar, you're going to go straight to your head.
Straight there.
So, yeah, I enjoyed my pudding shot. Am I going to go out on my way to find another one? Probably not. But, you
might come back to Lenny's thinking, you know what? I like this bar. It's an awesome dive bar. And bonus of
that was a pretty darn good pudding shot.
Yeah.
Check it off your bucket list.
Yeah.
We should shut this bitch down like in Indiana Jones when they were having the drink each other under the table fight and just have like big stacks of all the empty shots that we've done at this table, and they're dragging us out at 2 a.m.
What about alcoholic ice cream? I'm surprised they haven't attempted that.
That's kind of a thing now, right?
Is it?
I don't know. I thought more like some bars do the alcoholic floats, like a root beer float.
Oh, yeah.
I think
probably what it is.
Did we just have a chocolate beer festival or chocolate beer week? Did I see that somewhere?
Well, winter beer and dark beer festivals, for sure. I don't know about specifically a chocolate.
Valentine's Day, I think it aligned with that maybe.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, there was a dark beer festival.
Like chocolate stouts, those kind of things.
Chocolate stouts, very popular.
Yeah.
Peanut butter stouts, also delicious. Yeah, for sure. Good point. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. All right, guys, you want to take a break and get some round 2 and let our beak? Maybe get the best burger in town. Get some more pudding
might
shots.
Actually be round 3. So
round 3. Saints, Pilgrims, take us out. Bring us back. Thank you, Satan's Pilgrims. We are back for round 3, if you count the pudding.
And we do count the pudding.
We do count the pudding.
Of course we do.
Jeremy,
The pudding counts.
what did you get for round 3, Jeremy?
Well, the pudding was delicious, but real quick, before the pudding, round 1 was a Double Mountain Hazy IPA.
How was that?
I think this is the first bar we've been to that had a Double Mountain out of Northern California, and the listeners can correct me if I'm wrong there, but it was quite delicious. I've had it before, but this is the first dive bar we've been to that had Double Mountain on tap, so that was kind of cool. Round 2 was the pudding shots that we talked about. Round 3 in this case was a Reuben's Spot On IPA. So we talked about this 2 episodes ago. Reuben's a fairly common beer on the dive tap or the dive bar kind of rotation list, which is great. Reuben's awesome, but this IPA on tap right now is the first time.
First time you've had this one?
First time Spot On that I've seen on tap at the dive bar. So it's great.
What kind of an IPA is it, J-Dog? How would you describe it?
It is very traditional, like West Coast style IPA. Not hazy, which is all the rage these days. A little bit more clear, a little more traditional West Coast IPA.
Crazy, hop heavy, but just enough.
Yeah, nice and smooth and easy drinking. What you got there, Lou?
I should say, all the cheering in the background is not in response to the IPA you just announced.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was.
We're recording live, by the way. There's a bunch of people
Rubens.
riveted to every word we say.
Yeah.
That's right, damn straight.
No, there's a pool game behind us.
Yeah.
It's just good timing.
I think it was a peanut gallery.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think they heard you and they're like...
If you close your eyes and imagine us here in the bar, you're listening, it's like there's a huge crowd of just hanging on every word that we say. So that's clearly what it was.
Well, that was a crowd pleaser then. Apparently.
Order that again. I would say for round 3, I ordered a Jamie on the Rocks.
Jamie on the Rocks.
Jameson, for those of you. Brad drinks Henny, I drink Jamie. That's usually how it goes.
And what did you start off with round 1? You had an empty glass right in front of you.
I started like it was 2004 with a Mac and Jack.
No, that's wrong. You did not have a Mac and Jack.
I had
you already
a
drunk?
Fat Tire.
That's right.
That's
All right. Yeah.
Shout out to the old OG tap handle regulars that have been muscled out by Georgetown.
You still see them every now and then. They're still out there. Yep.
What you drinking, Brad?
I'm still working on round 1. I'm just
which
I'm
is
sipping tonight.
Nursing it.
It's a vitamin R.
Good old Rainier.
Yeah.
On draft. We got some Coors Light on draft. So very, very, very common beer to have. Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to give a shout out to Leny's Place real quick because they are putting the stiff drinks in dim lights and stiff drinks. This is a glass full of Jameson with a couple ice cubes in it. Look out.
God bless them. God bless them.
Well, and I will say their tap handle is definitely more of what you imagine when you see a dive bar, which we don't see very often. Because usually a lot of even the so-called dive bars have pretty like upscale beer selections.
Yeah.
This one's got Miller Lite, Bud Light, Rainier, more of like what you envision when you go to a dive bar, which
don't
is
forget
rare.
The Miller Lite.
You don't see that
absolutely.
Yeah.
But, we are in Seattle, so they got a selection of pretty killer micros on tap.
That's right. You can't go wrong
out
anywhere.
of Oregon, a Beeham Brown, which is the first time I've seen that on draft in the dive bars. Aslan, only maybe 2 or 3 Aslans in the dive bar rotation, so that's pretty badass. Love Aslan out of Portland. We've got a Freem Pilsner. This is maybe the
Freem is killer. It's one of my new favorite
place.
beers.
Absolutely.
The red and the black and the copper.
All rising up in the rotation. Freem used to be like you would never see a Freem in a dive bar a couple of years ago, but now this is like third place we've been to with Freem on tap. So they're definitely like a rising star.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right on. Shout out to Freem. Start out with the P, PH, for our listener at home that doesn't know how to spell Freem.
Freem.
Like Michelle Pfeiffer.
You're drinking, Lou. You're drinking a Jameson on the rocks, right?
That's correct, sir.
Okay, so I
you are correct, sir.
When we took the break for round 3 here, I took a trip down into the restroom where you find all the good information about the dive bar and find out that Leny's Place actually does their own barrel-aged bourbon. They take Jefferson bourbon and put it in their own Leny's branded cask. And serve their own cask-aged bourbon. So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Upscale for a dive bar, I'd have to say. But
that would fit right in at the Diller Room. Shout out to our last podcast.
That's right.
Shout out to Mr. Wilson. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
That was a great episode. All right, so let's wrap this up with our last segment. Where are we at? You guys ready for some Where Are We At?
We are in Tangletown.
Give it to us. Give it to us straight.
We are in Tangletown.
I'm sorry, where was that again?
Tangletown.
Okay.
It's a tweener neighborhood that is both Wallingford and Green Lake, or neither, but for the purposes of this show, it is Wallingford, because we've already done Green Lake. And it's time for our listeners' favorite sub-segment, Sweet Deals. Satan's Pilgrims, hit us with the Sweet Deals music. This is where we let the fan of the show where to know to find the good finds.
Sweet deals.
Sweet deals, just like how Guy Finney bought Finney Ridge for $250 back in 1879. Philip Ritz, a.k.a. Philip Putting on the Ritz, bought Wallingford in 1869 for a C note. That's 80 acres for $100, and that's a sweet deal.
80 acres in Wallingford, $100.
So that's the end of Sweet Deals. That was the segment.
All right, okay.
You only get one.
I'm betting there was probably some other sweet deals that maybe we have less history on.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to put this to you guys. If we are in Wallingford, what are we talking about, Brad? What's in Wallingford?
What's in Wallingford? The zoo?
Safeway.
Or no, that's Finney, isn't it? Is that Finney?
Think neon signs.
Pretty
I don't
cool
know.
drugstore.
Dicks!
Well, they're all over the place. I mean, they're Broadway. But yeah, the one on Wallingford.
What's the record store right there?
The rug store?
The record store?
Golden Oldies.
Golden Oldies.
Open 365 days a
MF and
year.
Lou is clearly most excited about the Dicks.
I am
Yeah.
most excited about
So,
Dick's.
Are we surprised, though?
We're talking about Dick's Drive-In. The first Dick's was launched in Wallingford in 1954, where it still sits today. Brad's like, oh, they're everywhere. No, they started in Wallingford.
All right.
Everybody knows Seattle invented Dicks.
That's right. Got its name from its founder, Dick Jack Spady.
Yep.
Not making that name up.
Nope.
That name had yet to be ruined in 1954. For our young listeners, Dick Jack was born at a time when people named Richard preferred to be called Dick.
Dick
Yeah.
Van Dyke.
Why? No one knows. Born in Portland, when Dick was in the military, he ran a restaurant in Japan as a commissary officer. See where this is going? When
Was it called Dick's in Japan too?
Selling burgers over there.
That's right. So after his military service, he moved back to the Northwest and decided to start a new restaurant in Seattle instead of Portland, where he was from. Why? Because everything comes from Seattle. That's why.
Because Tangletown was badass, and he knew it.
That's right. And Dick Spady didn't have a lot of cash, so he found two other partners, an old Army buddy and that guy's wife's boss, a dentistry professor at UW. So with the team in place, they went on a research field trip to get some ideas for what they should do for their restaurant. And they worked their way down I-5 till they got the little place in Southern California called McDonald's. You guys have heard of
Oh, I
McDonald's?
thought you were going to say In-N-Out.
In-N-Out. It was a small but rapidly expanding burger chain in California in the 50s.
I can do that way better than these guys. I'm going to call it McDougal's.
Whack Arnold's.
So, owned by the McDonald brothers, they invented a hamburger delivery service called the Speedy Service System.
Wait a second. I thought we were in the history of Dick's here.
No, we're just quick
pivoting?
sidetrack. Made with a small menu, 9 items with a hyper efficiency, streamlined. And Dick's was so impressed that he made the McDonald brothers an offer. He said, "Hey, we're from Seattle. We're here looking for ideas for a restaurant, and I will give you $50 if you let us work here for free and see how you do your thing."
Now that's a deal.
An
That
apprenticeship,
is a
an
sweet
apprenticeship
deal.
program. Wow, did they take
I
him
didn't
up
know
on
that
it?
part.
No, they said, "Get the fuck out of here. Have these gentlemen escorted from the premises." But the McDonald's brothers' success...
Wait. Before I go, can I get a shake? Surprise.
But couldn't one of them had just gotten someone hired to work there for a month to learn all their secrets? It couldn't have,
yeah, this is corporate espionage 101.
It was way easier than that, Brad, because the McDonald brothers had already spawned a bunch of imitators, and on their way back up I-5,
McDougal's.
they went to all these copycat restaurants who were happy to make a quick $50. They're like, "Yeah, sure, go clean out the grease traps. Take out the garbage." Put the $50
So
in
what
their
was
pocket.
the Burger King or something that they stopped at?
Or yeah, Chad's Burger Master Hut.
Okay.
All those things. So they got back home
A&W?
and they looked into it, and it was going to cost $15,000 to start it up. So each partner had to put in $5,000. But Dick Spady was a little short, so he went to the bank and they said, "How do you expect to make money selling burgers for 19 cents a piece when people are going out of business all over town, selling them for 30 cents?"
Make it up in the volume.
We make it up in volume. So he had to get the money from somewhere else, which he did. And they picked that location on 45th very specifically because it's next to Lincoln High School. It's next to Roosevelt High School.
Yup.
Bob? Hungry students with a quarter in their pocket, right? And they made a 19-cent burger profitable by getting rid of all the overhead that they could. No waiting, no tables, no dining room, no tipping.
Optional ketchup.
No restroom for the customers.
Yep.
Their sign summed up the concept quite eloquently. Hamburgers, instant service, 19 cents. Take them home. Open 11 a.m. to 2 in the morning.
Get your burger, get the hell out.
Yeah.
Well, they pretty much haven't changed since then.
No.
I mean, the prices have
A
increased a little
little
bit,
bit more than 19 cents.
a little more
Not
than
much.
19 cents, but it's
Not
still
much.
the same menu.
Yeah, get your burger, get the fuck out.
And no substitutes. You can't custom
Right.
order a burger. It's
Yeah.
you order a Dick's Deluxe, you're getting everything that what it says on the
Can I
menu.
get sauteed onions on that?
Ludo, what's your go-to Dick's?
Dick's Deluxe.
Hell yeah.
Dick's Deluxe and a Dick's Special. That's my go-to, Dick's. What's yours, Bob?
I'll say 2 cheeseburgers and a strawberry shake.
Strawberry
Nice.
shake.
Brad?
Yeah.
Deluxe, the soggy fries, which are delicious, and usually a Coke.
Nice.
Same, I'm with you. Strawberry shakes are awesome at Dick's. Yeah. Deluxe fries in the shake.
So the first menu, like you were talking about, Brad, was very simple. Do you want a hamburger or you want a cheeseburger? Make up your fucking mind. You want fries with that? You want a shake? You want some ice cream? You want a soda?
And no, you can't have extra pickles on it.
Yeah, and that was it. And that
Now,
was
the fries. Is that olive oil or soy oil?
is that beef tallow? Because I'm a
Are those
vegetarian.
vegan?
So that was the menu from 1954 to 1971. And then in 71, the revolution happened. They introduced their first and last new items, which are, Brad?
I don't know.
You know the two items we just talked about.
Oh, was it a deluxe?
The special and the
okay,
deluxe.
Okay. All right.
For our listener at home, the Dick's Special is a single 8-pound ground patty with lettuce, tomato, and pickle relish. And the Dick's Deluxe, 2 8-pound patties plus cheese, pickles, tomato, relish.
And most people that aren't from Seattle that have like maybe moved here in the last few years generally don't like Dick's. If you bring up Dick's to them, they're just like, oh, what's the big hype about Dick's? Like their fries are soggy and like they don't understand it.
Yeah, it's a local institution.
It's a local,
you kind of got to get it before you get it. And if you don't get it, then like it's not going to be that great.
That's when you can really appreciate
Hell
it.
yeah. That's another good call out. They had extended hours.
Yeah.
That's
one
true.
on Broadway hit many times.
Yep.
You get the bar
Saturday
crowd,
night.
people coming out at midnight to 2, hungry.
That was very intentional. Very intentional.
Before the main act, and we had enough time before the main act hit the stage. I was so hungry. Ran up to Broadway, grabbed some Dick's burgers, came back, and then saw this show.
It's the spot.
It's
What you need sometimes. Yeah.
And, yeah, I don't know. It's delicious.
And as a
I'm
little
hooked.
historical footnote to the whole Dick story, the Queen of
You
Neon,
going to talk about B?
B. Haverfield,
Oh, yeah.
designed the Dick sign. And that is actually her handwriting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the little kind of cursive type writing.
And B. Haverfield also did the Elephant Car Wash.
Elephant Car Wash, the Cinerama, Ivers also in her handwriting. Chubby and Tubby.
Oh, wow.
The list goes on. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and for,
Upcoming book, I believe, right?
well, no, let me give a shout out to our listener. The book has already been written. Brad had the Sunday magazine piece was on B. Haverfield, and it was
Yeah.
Brad's article. It's killer. I got one more thing about Dick's, and it's just something I remembered from an article in the Times, probably like 20 years ago, and they were talking to Dick's son, who was now running things, and they were asking him, like, you mentioned it, Jeremy. Hey, you guys still charge 5 cents for a canister of ketchup. Is that kind of one of the things that Dick's does to manage the bottom line and keep it profitable while keeping prices low? And he was like, no, I don't actually give a crap about 5 cents. The whole thing started because when I started working in the restaurants, you'd see it all the time. When you had the ketchup packets, people grab a handful, they use 2, and they throw the rest in the trash. It was like, it just drove me crazy. So we don't make any money off it. It's probably a little bit of a loss because people have to fill up those containers. But I just hated the waste, and I want you to think about how much ketchup you want. You want 1, you want 2.
Right.
It's a green initiative, really.
It's a green initiative.
Yeah. That's right.
That's right. That's all I got. I've gone through all my note cards. What do you guys say?
Tangletown. Yeah.
Home of some competitive pool games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody knows Seattle invented pudding shots.
All right. You ready to land this plane, guys? You got to give it a plugs?
I think we're up next for the pool tournament, so yeah, we got to wrap it up. That's right.
All right, guys. This is a good one.
This was a good one, yeah.
All right, season 4. We're building up the vault.
That's right. That's right. Like, follow.
Saints Pilgrims, take us out.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.